Guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Gracie D. I hope you guys are doing amazing. I'm doing great here in Nairobi, Kenya, the pride of Africa, the home of safaris, and the jewel of East Africa. If you're watching me for the first time, my good name is Gracie D. I do travel content creation, trying to travel in African country, showcasing the development and the positive side of Africa, and hoping to travel the whole world in the future. So if you're watching this video and you haven't yet subscribed, please consider subscribing to this channel. Also, don't forget to give this video a like, leave a comment down below and tell me what you think about today's topic. So on today's topic, we're going to talk on the cost of living in Kenya, whether you'll be visiting here for a short term, for a long term stay, or for forever if you want to come to Kenya and live here forever. So those are the things that we're gonna be talking about today. And don't forget to leave a like, comment, and tell me if you moved to Kenya, how do you find the cost of living in Kenya compared to where you were staying before, like the country you were staying before. If you've traveled to Kenya and you stayed here, tell me what you think of the cost of living for the short time that you're here or for the long time that you were here, and that would really help me and also people that are watching us. And you know, we always get to learn from each other. So we're going to talk on the cost of living in Kenya, and let's start. So on number one of the cost of living in Kenya, it's going to be housing. So housing in Kenya is very affordable compared to other countries. Yeah, so like I know, like house in here in Kenya, like renting an apartment or buying a house is rent is on average 87.1% lower than in the US. So that of course tells you if it's 87%, then it's affordable, like for you to rent here or maybe also like own an apartment. So let's start with apartment, like a studio. That is a studio apartment, which you can have like a bed, a 4x6 bed, and maybe a 1 3-seater couch and a small kitchen area and just one small table. That might cost you around 5,000 Kenyan shillings to around 10,000 Kenyan shillings. That is in the middle class neighborhoods. While when we come to these high-end neighborhoods like Kilimani, Kileleshwa, Westlands, Lavington, it might cost you 45,000 Kenyan shillings, 50,000 Kenyan shillings, sometimes 30,000 Kenyan shillings, 20,000 Kenyan shillings, depending on the size of the apartment and also where the place is located. Let's go to one bedroom in like the good neighborhoods, like now in Kilimani. If you want the modern apartment, for 1 bedroom apartment with a lift or with a gym, like very modern with a beautiful balcony, spacious, it's probably gonna cost you around from 50,000 Kenyan shillings to around 70,000 Kenyan shillings. That is a 1 bedroom apartment. That is in Kilimani, Westlands, Kileleshwa, depending on where you want to live. And I'm talking of the unfurnished apartments. Yeah, 2 bedroom might cost you from 70,000 going upwards in those high-end neighborhoods. Now let's come to the middle class neighborhoods. A place like Ruaka, which is next to the rivers where almost all the embassies are located, the Ginigiri. Yeah, so around that area, a 1 bedroom apartment might cost you like 15,000 Kenyan shillings, 12,000 Kenyan shillings, 16,000 Kenyan shillings. And a 2 bedroom might cost you around 30,000 Kenyan shillings, some for 40 and some for 50. And these ones are for 40,000 in this neighborhood. They're like very spacious, very modern, like they're very spacious compared to what you would, because of course you will never get that like a 40,000 2 bedroom apartment in a place like Kilimani or Westlands. And yeah, you would also get like a 3 bedroom apartment for around 50,000 Kenyan shillings, let's say from 45,000 Kenyan shillings going upwards. And you will also get like a 2 bedroom, like in places like around Syokimau, which is very close to the airport, with very nice, some of the apartments with very nice views of the Nairobi National Park. So it just depends on where you living in Nairobi. Now, for the furnished apartments in places like Kileleshwa, Lavington, the high-end neighborhoods, you probably get the apartments as from $700 a month, with all the utilities paid for, electricity, Wi-Fi, and yeah, garbage. In places like, let's say like Roaka, you get like a furnished 1 bedroom apartment for around $400. It just depends on the neighborhood that you're staying. Yeah. So that is on the housing. It's quite affordable. And for people who are traveling like for short term and you need like Airbnbs, on Airbnb you can get like a $10 apartment, no, from 12 US dollars a night for a studio, depending on the area the studio is at. And you can also get a $12 apartment for a 1 bedroom, depending on the area that the place is located. And the good thing is all these neighborhoods that we talking about, they are like, the security is quite okay. Yeah. Yeah, for 2 bedroom around maybe from, okay, for high-end neighborhoods, for a 1 bedroom furnished, fully furnished for the short-term travelers, you might end up getting them from 40 US dollars, 50, 60 to 100 US dollars, depending on which neighborhood that you want to live in. So that is the part of the housing. Tell me, when you visited Kenya, how much did you pay for your rent here? Either short term or long term. I want to know. Tell me on the comment section, and let's see what's the difference. Number two, it's gonna be food. Like, food is quite affordable in Kenya. I would say that because right now I was talking to someone who is in the US, and for $20 they just get like a simple sandwich, and it's not even filling. With $20, like, right now, a dollar is equivalent to 150 Kenyan shillings. With $20 here, you've bought a lot. Like going to a restaurant, you'll have a probably a 3 course meal, yeah, and a drink, maybe a juice or a soda. Yeah, so food here in Kenya, it's very affordable. So let's say if you have like your own apartment, you don't need to go to a restaurant. Like, you would, for $20 you would eat probably for 3 days if you're cooking for yourself. And in other countries, they're only having this for like a one meal. For $20 is only going for one meal. So food is quite affordable here. And we also have like street foods, and we also have like very affordable restaurants where you can just go, the local restaurants, you can just go and eat. Like 500 is enough for your meal and you'll be full. Yeah, so food is not that expensive when you're traveling in Kenya. If you're a budget friend, if you're a budget traveler, maybe getting a place for you and cooking food for yourself is much easier than eating in restaurants. That is how I find it. I don't know, if you're a budget traveler and you travel a lot, can you please tell me on the comment section, which one do you think is affordable, buying food from the restaurants or cooking? Because for me, I look at it this way, like, if I cook a meal, I can have this meal for, I can have it for 2 meals. But if I have to go to eat at a restaurant, I have to buy breakfast, I have to buy lunch, I have to buy supper. But if I'm eating at home, can get myself to cook breakfast, and then maybe whatever I'll cook for lunch, I might end up having it for dinner, or I cook something else for dinner and have, you know, just to have something different, and I'll have the rest, the leftovers, like tomorrow if you have a fridge. And it's quite saving, and yeah, that is how most travelers do it. Okay, that is how I do it. I don't know about most travelers, and it helps you on saving some coins to do some other activities and explore other things. But also don't forget to, when you're traveling, to get to try the local dishes. Of course, you want to try the local dishes and try different dishes. So there are obviously times that you be forced to go and have something in a restaurant. Yeah. On transport, transport is also one of the most affordable, like here in Kenya, I would say, because all the neighborhoods that you're gonna live in here in Kenya are accessible via matatu, mostly in Nairobi County, in Kiambu County, yeah, in most counties, let me say almost all the counties, you can always access public transport. It can either be a motorbike, a tuk-tuk, a bus, or a minivan. So that's one thing I really like about Kenya, it's not a struggle for you to move around. If there are no buses, of course there are motorbikes. If there are no motorbikes, there are some tuk-tuks and even some areas with bicycles. So probably most places would cost you like 100 Kenyan shillings or 150, depending. If you're using two matatus, it might cost you 150, but most places the transport is always ranges 100 Kenyan shillings. That is one way. So at the end of the day, you might end up be using 200 Kenyan shillings for the transport, and this is on the high on this is the maximum. So you can, some areas you might end up paying like 50 Kenyan shillings, 30 Kenyan shillings, like the neighborhood that I was saying. For Raka, you only pay like 50 Kenyan shillings to get to town. Rush hour, you might end up paying like 70 Kenyan shillings getting to town. For places like Roysambu, there's a neighborhood called Roysambu, for those who don't know, you might end up paying 80 Kenyan shillings, like at some points 50 Kenyan shillings. Usually depends on what time that you using the bus. Yeah. For the motorbikes, the prices, they always like kind of the same all the day, depending on the neighborhoods. There are neighborhoods that you might, to get to the main stage, or to get to go somewhere, you end up paying like 100 or 200. And I feel like kind of motorbikes are way expensive here than using the matatus, the buses, that is. We call buses matatus here in Kenya. So yeah, I feel like motorbikes are kind of expensive compared to using the buses or the minivans. And also, like, there are neighborhoods with tuk-tuks and they're quite affordable. Yeah. So yeah, transport is really affordable here in Kenya. Even like moving from one county to another, let's say you're going from Nairobi to Kisumu, you probably pay like 2,000 Kenyan shillings on a bus, and these are like very comfortable buses. Or you can choose to have like the 18-seater minivans. They're also very comfortable. There's enough leg room for you. Yeah, so it's not a struggle for transport here in Kenya. Even if you want to go to Mombasa, you pay 1,500 Kenyan shillings for a bus, or you can use the SGR, which is quite affordable. Yeah, and for, because I'm not like putting the prices in dollars right now, one USD is equivalent to 150 Kenyan shillings. So you can do the math. Yeah, so that's all about the transport. Let's go on. No, I'm forgetting something. So on transport, we also have like the private transport, like the Ubers, we have the Bolt. Yeah, so for Uber, it's also quite affordable. It's not that expensive depending on the place that you're going to. And right now, the because traffic is a bit reduced in the country, so you don't get to spend so much time stuck in traffic. And you can also choose to use what they call Uber Boda, that is the motorbikes that are on Uber, so you can get to request, and that's good when you don't know the city. And of course, if you also want to save on time, I would advise you to use the Uber Boda, but I always remind them that you're not in such a hurry, because some of them tend to drive these motorbikes very fast and it's scary, and you don't want to be in an accident or something. You just want to be safe. And so for Uber cars in areas like from Raka, I'm giving an example of Raka because I like that neighborhood and it's quite affordable compared to other neighborhoods that I would advise you to live in, and it's lively. So an Uber from Raka to the city CBD, it's gonna cost you around 700 Kenyan shillings to 1,000 Kenyan shillings. And an Uber from Kilimani to town, it might end up costing you like uh 300 Kenyan shillings or 400 Kenyan shillings. But also remember, these are like two different neighborhoods. Like Kilimani is very close to town, where that is why the rent over there is very expensive. And for transport, of course, it's close to town, so the transport is going to be affordable. But it's not like Roka is that far to town. It might take you 30 to 45 minutes to get to Roka or to get to town from Roka. And the good thing is, most, like I would say, especially like when you like in Nairobi County, Kiambu County, so like Ubers are accessible. Like it's very easy to find Ubers in these two counties, you know, that move from one place to another place. Like it's been made easier for us to transport has been made very easy for us here in Kenya, and that is also another thing I like about Kenya. So yeah, that's it about the transport. Tell me, how was your experience moving around when you visited Kenya? Was it hectic for you? Was it easy? Yeah, I want to know on the comment section. Let's go to number 4, which will be partying. Partying in Nairobi is also very affordable compared to other places. Like there are places that for you to go party, you need at least to get ready with around $100 to like $200 for just partying. With that, here in Kenya, just to go partying, oh man, you balling. Yeah, it depends also on which places that you're going to partying. And this I'm saying just when you're catering your own bill. It's not when you're going to buy every person that you're going out with for like drinks. But yeah, partying here is quite affordable. From clubbing, like they're very quite affordable, because one thing is clubs, most clubs in Nairobi, like 99% of our clubs, we don't have what they call cover fee. You don't have to pay anything to get in. Now you're just going to get in and get your own drinks, unless there is like an event taking place on there, like a big artist who is in the house, then you might end up paying for the cover. You might end up paying cover fee. But if not, it's always free to like get in clubs in Nairobi. Let's go to like branches. We have restaurants like that hold branches on Sundays, and they're quite affordable. Like there's this one that we usually go with my friends, and right now it's just for 4,000 Kenyan shillings. You have all you can eat and drink from 11 to 5 p.m. in the evening. So yeah, it's very easy for you to have, it's very affordable for you to have fun here in Nairobi, and you'll end up enjoying a lot. If it's for the kids and you want to take them out for them to have like a party and enjoy their parks, like you can take them to Two Rivers, you can take them like to Village Market, you can take them to like hub in Karen, the hub in Karen, and there are so many games for kids to do there, and you might end up spending around 3,000 Kenyan shillings a kid, and it's also quite affordable compared to other countries. And yeah, tell me, how is it, like how much does it cost you for you to take your kids out in your country, like for them to play games, go for those kids rides? And how much does it cost you in your country for you to go out drinking and partying at night, or going for to a nice dining restaurant, or for a brunch? I also want to know that on the comment section, and we get to see the differences between my country and your country. Let's talk of insurance. I remember I did a video on the cost of living some times back that was for Rwanda. I'll actually put that link on down below on this video. So maybe if you're looking forward to travel to Rwanda and you don't know the cost of living and you're trying to find out, I'll put the link on the video down below. And it's on that video I saw someone asked me what about the cost of it, like insurance, you know, because it's part of our today's life. So insurance is in Kenya is also quite affordable. Like you can start like for a life insurance, because my sister works for an insurance company. There are people who pay as low as 1,000 Kenyan shillings, 3,000 Kenyan shillings. For health insurance, you can pay like 1,000 Kenyan shillings, depending on how much you making. And yeah, the insurance is gonna cover for, you know, for whatever much that you've paid. For cars, it's also quite the same. Most people go for third parties covers, which is also quite affordable. Yeah. For school or education here, if you're planning to like move to Kenya for like long term and you want to move with your family, or you still young and you're planning to move to Kenya and you want to see how the education system here, like how much it costs you to bring up to take your kids to school. Yeah, schools are quite affordable. Like, I actually have like a paper here for my nephew's school fees. He's going to grade 8 next year, and I want to read you guys the school fees for next year. And this is actually like a private school. So for private schools, you have to pay. For public schools, it's actually free of charge. You might end up paying like a bit for exams and for the lockers, you know, when you're getting the kid in school, and maybe buying a few books. And of course, you have to cater for their school uniforms. Yeah, here in Kenya, I know there are some countries that kids go to school with their home clothes, but here in Kenya, we all put on the same uniform going to school. That is in elementary school and also in high school. It's only in college and universities that you get to go with their home clothes, but here you have to get uniforms. So like for preschool here, I'm seeing for the school fees with lunch inclusive, they are only paying 6,750 per term. For grade 1 to grade 3, they are paying, for the day scholars, they are paying 7,800 per term. For those who want to be in boarding school, they are paying 16,900 Kenyan shillings. So like the highest here is only grade 7. I don't know why it's different. It's 25,200 Kenyan shillings for boarders, and for day scholars is 13,900 Kenyan shillings, and this is per term. So yeah, I would say that is quite affordable compared to other countries. And also every school differs. So if you have a kid here in Kenya and they're in school, I would like to know how much they're paying for grade 8. Maybe they are in their day school. In this school, they're only paying 12,600 Kenyan shillings. That is for day scholars. For boarders, they're paying 19,900 Kenyan shillings. Like, it's quite affordable, I would say. Yeah, for 19,900 Kenyan shillings for a grade 8 student per term, I would say that is quite affordable. And yeah, that is all I have like on the cost of living. And also I was checking on Google and I saw that the cost of living in Kenya is actually 64.9% lower than in the US. And that's why I think most people from the US are moving to Kenya, because their money can go far here than it can back in their country. So if there's something that you feel that I've left out, please tell me on the comment section, and something that you would like me to discuss on this channel and get to update you guys, please tell me on the comment section. Also tell me what you think about the video, and tell me how was your cost of living when you visited Kenya. So this is gonna be the end of our today's episode. If you watched this video and you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. If you haven't liked the video, please consider leaving a like. Also guys, see you on the next episode. Peace.